Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from a regular dude, where I do trailer reactions, I react to YouTube videos, I review YouTube channels. Occasionally, I'll review a movie, but really, I just do whatever the hell I want. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from a regular dude in my car. Okay, I was going to do a reaction, and I recorded it and got it all edited and everything, and I went back to see the video that I had reacted to, and it had been deleted. And I know why. It was because there was some scenes in it that had to do with fire, and I've done some other reaction videos, and YouTube nailed me on them, where I got a copyright claim, and I think on one of them I actually got a strike, because it had to do with fire and explosions and stuff like that. YouTube, I guess, doesn't like those type of videos. So I'm not going to upload that one today. Instead, what I thought I would do is talk about kind of my routine, my daily routine. I since the beer bug, I have been laid off from work, so I have like all kinds of time. The gym's been closed down, so I haven't been able to go to the gym. I can't stand sitting at home all day long. So basically what I've been doing is getting up in the morning and I drive around in my car and listen to podcasts, because it gives me something to do and gets me out of the house. And I love listening to podcasts. I used to listen to them all the time when I was going to the gym. Now, when all of this first started back in March, the gym closed and didn't open up again until April, May, June. And so I started going back to the gym. Then they closed down again. Well, they didn't close down. They changed their status to a rehabilitation place so that they could stay open. And that lasted all of about 2 weeks. And then they closed down again. And so I haven't been there in over a month now, going to the gym, and hopefully they're going to open up again on Wednesday, or on Thursday, actually. The 14th, I believe, is what it is. So hopefully that's going to happen so I can start going to the gym again. But what I've been doing is I just drive around and listen to podcasts and stuff, and then I'll go home, and since I'm old, I take a nap, usually, just for an hour or two, watch some TV or whatever, and then I'll get out and I'll drive around again. Because, like I said, I just don't like sitting at home. But I wanted to recommend some podcasts for you to listen to. Of course, the first one you need to listen to is my podcast, in the description. Random stuff from a regular dude. And I talk about just all kinds of stuff. Basically, whatever the hell I want. And, okay, let's start this off. This is a movie podcast that I really like listening to. These guys are great. They have a really good, they get along really good with each other, and it's called Horror Movie Podcast. And they're part of the Movie Podcast Network. And they just talk horror movies. It's a really, really good podcast to listen to. Another one that I've been listening to a lot tells short horror stories. And they also have a YouTube channel that you should check out. But the podcast on their YouTube channel and on the podcast networks and everything is called Scared to Death. It's really, really good. It's got the host is Dan Cummings. He's a stand-up comic, and his wife, and they do the readings of the stories that are sent in to them. And they're really, really good. They have their YouTube channel is called Bad Magic Productions. And he has 2 different podcasts. He has Scared to Death, and I can't remember the name of the other one. But they have 2 podcasts. And it's a real good podcast. Got some really creepy stories on it. And he's really good. Both of them are really good at narrating them. And also, Retro Movie Geek is awesome. They only review movies that are, I believe it's 20 years old or older. They won't review anything new. They review all the old stuff. And you've got Daryl and Peter and Joel. You've got Daryl, Peter, and Joel on that podcast. They're the main ones. And they're awesome together. All three of them are really great. That's a really great podcast to listen to. Also, another movie podcast called The Horror Returns. This is a really great podcast with Lance as the main host on it. And they just talk horror movies. They also talk about all kinds of other types of movies. They do a lot. They're really into the comic book movies, so they talk a lot about comic book movies too. And that's a really good podcast to listen to. The Horror Returns. Now, one more. And this is a true crime podcast. And it's one of my favorite ones out there. It's really, really good. Some of it's really disturbing, I won't lie. But it's called Sword and Scale. Sword and Scale. I did a video on them once before talking about them. They are just a really, really intense podcast. Sometimes it gets really intense. But that's a real good podcast. So those are some things for you to do if you know you need something to do like I do. We've got Horror Movie Podcast, Scared to Death, Retro Movie Geek, The Horror Returns, and Sword and Scale. So I hope everybody out there is doing good. Hopefully, cross my fingers, the gym opens on Thursday. And now how about a joke? Did you know that a propeller on a plane is actually just a fan to help keep the pilot cool? If you don't believe that, just watch. If it stops spinning, watch the pilot start to sweat. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hashtag Mean Gene, all that fun stuff. And if you like this video, tell all your friends, leave a comment down below. And if you didn't like it, then just shut up. And I will see you next time.